Hi everybody, thanks for staying tuned after service today. We're instituting a new occasional series that we're going to call Chancel Chats. And we're going to talk about a variety of different issues that might be of interest to you and give you an opportunity to sort of get to know us and see behind the scenes just a little bit. Today it seemed really appropriate to talk about how wonderful it was during the month of February to have an opportunity to focus on these spirituals during Black History Month, and also to welcome Holden Turner, our guest soloist. But we thought we'd talk to everybody a little bit about what the experience was like of singing these spirituals and playing them. Thank you, Dwayne. So I'd just like to chat a little bit about the spirituals that we've heard this month and whether there was something interesting that you all learned.
As far as the spirituals go, I'm sure we have all spent years singing these spirituals, and I've always been really conflicted about it, especially maybe more recently with accusations of cultural appropriation, but this is music that's born of such deep suffering and oppression and sorrow and also of great faith, and I haven't ever experienced that kind of sorrow, suffering, and I haven't experienced that kind of faith. So I was always kind of wondering, what right do I have to do this? But this music is so, these songs are so direct and scathingly honest that it somehow seems to stir the spirit in everybody.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I've come with that.
Can I piggyback on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and what makes it even more difficult, I think, is that look at us here. There's one Black person, and the rest of us are trying to understand that kind of a struggle through this music, and we can't. It's just absolutely impossible. And every year, I have to be honest, when you talk about never had that kind of faith, I think you've had a lot of sorrow in your life, but not to that degree, but maybe. But I think every year, oh, here comes Black History Month again. I don't know how to do this. I just don't know how to do it authentically, because how can we? We've all experienced maybe a little bit of discrimination in our lives, but not on that level. And so this year in particular, because of the strife in this country, I thought, I'm going to throw myself into this and not focus on trying to feel that way, but focus on musical training to try to get there musically. I know that sounds kind of weird, but Holden was a real asset in that, because as good as a singer anyone can be, you almost have to be Black, like Beth says. You gotta almost be Black to be able to sing these things with any level of authenticity. So we try, and we have to keep trying, because if we don't, it's rude on some level, I think. So.
Yeah. The point of the song is literally like, it's kind of an educational thing. Like, you have these things were created and so on and so forth, and sung by people who have this whole story. They felt this way. They use this as a coping mechanism and so on and so forth. So you can't just let's sing it. Like I can sing "Wade in the Water" all I want, but like if I don't know anything about wading in the water, there's no point in singing the song in general. So,
sometimes they were given to me as solos to sing, and it wasn't until this month that I really got to look at them and understand where they come from. So, just from your question, like what have we learned? Just everything about them. I've enjoyed them for years, but never understood them, knew where they came from, and I was grateful for that learning opportunity.
Or really paid attention.
well, yeah.
It's just another song when I was learning them in high school and stuff like that. And it can't be that way. There's so much history, so much important history, and real life gravitas that comes with them. So,
and we've always done this in February at least for a long, long time. We've done spirituals in February, and and it always felt a little uncomfortable, a little bit of sort of lip service in a way, quite literally. But it never felt really good. And even this year, I knew I kind of forgot that it was coming, and all of a sudden it was here again. And I thought, but I think this would be the first year where marrying the two together. So we had the message, the sermons were about the text and making them relevant. And it was, so this year was so much more powerful than any other year, because I don't really remember that ever happening before, and certainly having Holden here made it even more powerful. But this year was the whole picture. It was fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah.
As an educator of high school students, I'm always conflicted as to should I be singing these pieces with my students, because they really can understand, especially with kids. But I always did it anyway, and I find that the students are trying to identify, they love the music, and we really have good experiences singing it. And I think when you ask what have we learned, I have learned through this experience that I need to do this more and with more commitment, because it's music that they should know, and even though they might not be able to empathize with it 100%, they should know what happened and how history can repeat itself. And the more we talk about it, and the more that we tell the students how important this is and what an amazing part of our history that we need to be reverent to, I think that's given me a new mission.
Excellent. Excellent. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I definitely feel as though having the connection between the scriptural stories and the spirituals themselves has been a real revelation to me. I've always known that there was deeper meaning to all of these songs, beyond just the sense that they were expressions of sorrow and hope for the future, and hope for redemption, and hope for salvation. But to link them up so closely to the stories that inspired them. And that, of course, makes me realize we can do that too. We can make those connections between the lessons that we learn here in church and our own lives, and the songs that we sing here in church, and how they were inspired by lives that may be really different from ours, but also maybe very similar to ours. That's, for me, that's the joy of being in this setting and being a church musician, is to be able to make those connections. So, excellent. This has been a really fun conversation, my friends. Thank you so much.